I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit Falcommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Hello? There we go. I'm like, what's going on today? Someone's sabotaging. Welcome back, Metro East Humane Society, in the studio yet again as we continue our very weird morning. You know, it's not very often that we get to really brag about our exes, but in this situation we can, because seeing the Facebook posts that we always already kind of talked about, there was a lot of people engaged on this crappy ex event, and now today at Meowtown, you're doing a live stream to pull off names, read names, write them?
We've gathered quite a list of names already just from, I mean, this fundraiser will be accepting names until the 13th, but just to kind of start chipping away at getting those names written in the bottom of litter boxes, we'll be at Meowtown. We're live streaming on our TikTok, which is just at Metro East Humane Society, and that'll be at 11:30 in the morning. So anyone who's already donated $5 per X will be able to tune in, take a peek, and just watch that name that they submitted get proof in the pudding.
So this is their day. This is for them.
Yeah.
I love it. So you write the name of the ex, the first name only, no last names, and there were some great comments that were coming in, maybe about the reasoning why.
Yes. Yeah. More information than we needed.
Yeah.
That we probably couldn't put on the box.
Yeah.
But I think this is. How'd you guys come up with this idea?
You know, it's actually it's a fundraiser that is used pretty widely across the nation. With in rescue, it's one of those things where there are a lot of original ideas that happen, but when one does happen and it's not necessarily yours, it's very appropriate to just kind of like, if you're not in that same area, to use it.
Yeah.
So that's something. We've never done this fundraiser before. Last year we did a speed dating event and it was fun. But we just wanted to do a new twist on something that our followers, our base has not been able to participate in yet. So
and in a different way, because now you get the it seems like more engagement, because that way it's open to everybody too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it seems like more people are interested in talking poorly about their exes than they are about getting into a relationship.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, that's a new
so much
trend.
More fun. Like, just bring a little bit of lightheartedness to the situation.
Well, and too, it's got to be great for the team to have an opportunity to have some fun with something because you all work very hard each and every day of the week. And so is this kind of one of those opportunities to let the hair down and just enjoy the mission a little bit?
Yeah, in a very harmless, silly way. Yeah, while it still benefits our pets. So.
And includes Meowtown, too.
Yeah.
It's nice that we can, we have our cats there now for adoption, and they just recently opened up, and it's nice to be able to utilize their space and, include them in this fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And take me through that partnership. How has it been so far? Pretty beneficial?
We have a hard time keeping up with cats there, so...
The people of Alton want to adopt cats.
Yes. So,
Very clear.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So, even though you're live streaming today, do they have the opportunity until February 13th?
Oh, absolutely.
And now, how often does the live streaming opportunity happen?
We haven't really discussed that.
Okay.
I figured just to kick off the month of February and, kind of really get going because the list is truly at like about 80 names so far.
Wow.
Yeah, a few ex-presidents, a few exes, a few crappy neighbors, some bullies. So it doesn't have to just be an ex. It can be, someone that just grinds your gears.
And if you pay $150, you can get your name on. No.
Yeah. I had someone call in actually who was like, "Yeah, what can $100 get me?" And I was like, "Dang, what did he do?" She's like, "I just want to make sure that however many names you're putting in a litter box, that his takes up more than one." It's like, okay,
He deserved it. He earned it.
We can do that.
Earning it. Well, also going on, and this is something that thank goodness we did part 2. You guys do this dog ventures and dating quite frequently throughout the year, but this is kind of a Valentine's Day twist on the whole program, correct?
Yeah. So you can check out a dog from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Valentine's Day. Spend your Valentine's Day, have the dog be your date for Valentine's Day. Include it in your actual, couple's Valentine's Day date, and then bring the dog back. Or you have the opportunity to adopt or foster. If you want to adopt, there's no pressure there, but it is only $14 on Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow.
For an adoption fee. And then if you want to continue, having that dog be a part of your Valentine's Day weekend or week, you can take that dog home.
And now, the $14, is that for all dog adoptions, or is that dependent on age of dog, or?
Every dog over 1 year.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. I'm glad I asked that. See, I'm starting to figure out the adoption thing. Well, I told you guys, what you have done really for so many people's adoptions experience is really amazing, because whenever you adopt a dog, the first thought is, for me, is I got to get vaccinations, I got to make sure that he's neutered, I got to make sure I got this, and then the care package you provide, plus the pre-adoption medical work that's done a lot of the times is just amazing, and it helps make so many people's experiences just so much more stress-free, too, because you aren't calling the vet going, I just adopted a dog and now I got to get him in. How has your adoption process changed, not changed, but just evolved over the years? Because you have adapted to the change of the digital age, too.
Yeah, so everything's digital for us now, and that's what makes it so beautiful about having animals available, like cats available at Meowtown, is that we can do the adoptions in real time, but we can do it while we're still at our shelter. So we just do it over the phone. We do everything, digitally over a computer, over their phone, and it makes it so much easier. And, we're able to save more animals that way because we're able to do so much more now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just the community engagement aspect that y'all have, too, is just fantastic, because you got to get your message out and you got to find a way to do it, and I think having events like this and programs that make it fun and a little bit lighthearted, but also to help. I'm sure this $5 is going to go towards the supplies that you need to take care of these animals and their medical procedures, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that I nail it?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, good.
100%.
That's always dangerous when I start leading in.
When it comes to even just like we were previously speaking about, even just like with the adoption process, meeting people where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's financially as well. So like, not every donor that's going to be is going to be donating $100. That's just not feasible for some folks. So $5, it really does make a difference, and especially for a fundraiser like this where it does kind of pick up on the excitement, it does kind of gain attention. Those $5 from the amount of people that have been participating so far have almost raised already $800 for our shelter. So it's really incredible, just like the difference that a $5 donation, a coffee, whatever, can truly make. So
Heck, that ain't even a coffee anymore.
yeah,
Well, with that being said,
an energy drink.
if folks wanted to, let's say that they're in a, everything's good, they don't have any crappy exes, but they still want to donate to this, can they scan that and donate what they would feel comfortable
absolutely,
with?
definitely.
Nice. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
So from now until the 13th, folks still have that opportunity. The first live streams today, and I'm excited to see how many first names that I might know are on these boxes.
There's a few repeats. Definitely.
Are there really?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know. Like,
yeah.
how many were they from different people too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we call the problem litter box.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's what I think would be fun about this is all the people saying like, I don't know, Jim. Yeah, Jim, add him to the list too. So that's going on, but also those $14 adoptions, which is a really great incentive. It's a Valentine's Day only incentive for that, but that dog and adventures where you can basically take a dog, an adoptable dog, out for a date all day and at pre-selected locations to keep everybody safe. You can utilize that at the Metro East Humane Society. We've had nothing but great experiences with you for all the animals that we've adopted, and just always great times because you're doing great work and keep growing. Is there anything else we need to hit on?
I mean, we're very busy right
Yeah.
now.
We're moving in groups.
This is busy season?
It really shouldn't
Not
be.
typically.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It's the year started very interestingly with we had a dog that came to us with almost 3 broken legs.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Bambi,
Yeah.
So she
no.
ended up
Started with
being
a splash.
like a $12,000 surgery. That was part 1. We still have another surgery coming up. But then, Meowtown took off.
Right.
And it's been kind of figuring out how all those pieces kind of come together to make it work. And the cat shortage, we don't really have a cat shortage. It's just like keeping up with the amount of adoptions. We didn't know were going to happen as quickly as they were.
Which is a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, definitely. Plus it not being kitten season right now as well. Like as we get into the warmer months, you'll start to notice, much like the deer, rabbits, all that, the Mother Nature. You see a lot of things in pairs, and that's true with kittens and cats. So we'll see a lot more cats. We'll be able to keep up with that shortage at Meowtown here real soon, especially if we keep getting 60-degree days in February. But
no kidding.
Yeah, kitten season comes sooner and sooner each year. So
well, and like I said, I can't give you a bigger endorsement because every experience I've had has been a fantastic one. Nico's a great dog, even though we thought 40 and now he's 60, and we got a couple months to go before the growing. What can you do?
Just don't know.
But what's the best way to stay up to date? Is Facebook the best way?
Facebook is honestly the best way to keep up to date on everything that's happening at our shelter.
And anytime you want to come back on, we did talk for longer. You couldn't hear part of it, but for the first time ever, I've had that problem. But you're always welcome back because you guys do great work and you're great advocates to have, especially on our platform. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
we appreciate you.
We'll take a quick pause here on this first day of February. Coming up, it's the first Thursday of the month too, so that means we got Lee Cox, Alton Little Theater. It is Theater Thursday right here on our daily show.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit FalCommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
And when we get behind closed doors, then she lets her hair hang down.
One of my favorite country love songs, Charlie Rich, The Silver Fox. You know.
You could come and sing.
I could.
Or mime. Or
interpretive dance.
Oh, that would be.
Oh, that would
just
be.
Just to see the look on their faces. Well, our first act will be interpretive dance of country.
The horror on their faces.
Yeah, it would be. There isn't enough chocolate in the world I can give them, probably to make them forget that. They'd be down in the champagne going, what did we sign up for?
What's in that champagne?
Exactly.
Lee Cox, all I'm going to tell you is I had an experience that I'm glad I had.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Anyone that worked in this building knew how freaked out I was on Thursday.
Oh, yes, Kathy, when she came with John, he was like, I have to go and memorize my lines. I can't.
I left early. I said, guys, I got to leave. It was noon, and I said, I got to go home and rehearse my lines. I am so proud of the cast because that was a pretty tough play to really put together, and everyone came together that Thursday.
Including you.
Yeah. Well,
you had so much emotion during the performances, and when you were begging him to let you dig the hole, I was like, there's an actor in there.
I really liked it. Now, it was good for me because it was good. It's always good to do something that's a little nerve-wracking and different, too.
Yes, it's called stretching, growing.
And I loved every minute of it. And you said we had some good feedback from it?
Oh, we had some excellent feedback. It really touched people. They thought about it, and they took the time to either write to the theater, which I get all those anyway. They don't know that, or they wrote to me personally because they knew, that it was sort of my baby. But I had turned it over to Shay, and he did a wonderful job.
He did a great job.
Wonderful job.
Well, and especially for the folks that didn't know, we didn't have that many rehearsal opportunities too. So to do the sporadic rehearsing together was
with the ice and the cold and the biggest cast. So getting everybody together, and that was so important. Mm-hmm. A director just knows one person is missing, and just the emotion and the energy just stops. Yeah. And you have to listen and you have to be present. And again, you guys, it wasn't a lot of movement, but it was very smooth. Yeah. Nobody tripped, nobody stumbled over everybody else because they knew, and that really helped me light the show. Because I wanted it to be interesting lighting and a little different, and midnight was darker, and then the morning. But I needed you to be in the same place. The lights don't move. It's not like a movie set where I can say, let's reset the lights.
And yes, I could stand still for more than 4 minutes. I didn't think it was possible.
You did. Every once in a while, I'd see the hands. Yep.
I get fidgety, It's the cigarette smoker in me. But I had so much fun. And also, I just sent a message. I think next week we will have the freak show that was performing. I always forget that gentleman's name, a wonderful man.
Thomas Neely.
And I just sent an email. We're going to see about getting him on next week and really doing some promotion. Let's see if we can breathe fire down here.
He probably could. You might not have a ceiling when you're left. He's pretty good.
Those are drop downs. They can go.
But I'm so delightful because he's smart. I mean, he knows so much about so many things.
Just talking to him, I mean, just a wealth of knowledge and just a really respectable man. I mean, just a nice person, too.
Oh, great family man, yes.
Yeah.
I just think he's charming.
Did you like I didn't get to see the pre-show, but was it really well received?
Oh, it was. And you would appreciate that man can get multiple words in his mouth and just fire them out. I'm like, how is he breathing?
Yeah, that is pretty.
And then the things he could put down his nose, I'm like, whoa. He freaks at people. Now, I'd seen him do some of that before, so I wasn't. Right. But the ladies were like,
normally, I just know people that can put stuff up it, you know?
Yeah, well, true, but I mean, he knew, and the exact angle, because sometimes, depending on his assistant, how tall she was, he had to adjust, and he's very experienced. He makes it look easy, but it's isn't easy.
Well, that's what I was a thought went through my mind on Friday because I was like half panic attacking Friday. I was sweating like Elvis at the end. I was just all over the place. And I thought, well, what happens if something, if this, because you could. I mean, these are serious acts that could be dangerous. And every time was just spotless. It was just spotless and seamless.
And he really captured that sideshow feeling.
Yes.
Because obviously we didn't have horses. We didn't have, we had to create the illusion. So he really set the tone, and they thought they were going to see a lot of kind of freaks and geeks.
Yeah.
And they saw some interesting people. Most of the townies were a little more freaky.
That's true.
Than the circus people. They're pretty good.
Now, Actor Studio Series, you're planning on doing this again.
I am next February. Yes, we're doing Front Porch. There really is a George Bailey, not just in A Wonderful Life. And he's a playwright in San Diego. Lovely, lovely gentleman in his 80s, and he has gifted that show to us. And then a woman in Northern Illinois wrote a play about Lincoln's widow. And we already have Amy Miller is a wonderful Mary Todd. Randy Duncan is a wonderful Lincoln. Marjorie Handy is a wonderful Elizabeth Keckley. So I was like, we already play 3 of the characters. I don't have a John Wilkes Booth yet. You could audition for that. He pops in and out, and he's behind curtains, and he's scaring her. He's not real. It's her fear that's creating him. But it's a great role.
It's a great role, and the competitors would love it too.
They
Nicelo's Wilkes Booth. Actually, that sounds like a good point. I might have to look into that one.
You might have to.
Well, the more I started thinking about country love, I love this idea. I mean, really, the fact that all these talented people can come in and compete for $500, and it's decided not by her this time or anybody but you in the audience. And ticket sales are going pretty well for this, aren't they?
They are. We're almost sold out for Sunday afternoon. I think Michael just told me because I checked. We have 4 tickets left for Sunday. We have about 15 for Saturday night, which is date night. This is the best deal you can get. Candy, free chocolate, like the whole 2 tables, 16 feet of chocolate, champagne, hot chocolate with Baileys. You can have the whole thing, and there's only 50 people, so it's intimate. And I think one of the things I love about country is the pure quality of voices. You can tell they're not amplified.
Right.
They're not overprocessed. I mean, I love Taylor, but still,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And so I love that. And of course, I love that of the 7 people, and they're all very different, and they all chose very different songs from old country to new, and every single one of them says, I think this will help me win. I think this will help me win. So I didn't think they'd be that competitive, because some of them are just doing it to help me and help the theater, but they are competitive. And I'm like, okay, I have nothing to do with the voting. The people vote. It is the People's Choice Award.
That's right. Well, I saw the set list in the dressing room, believe it or not.
You did?
It was floating, and I went, wow. I mean, these are some I would assume. But there was also some pieces that I thought that really is going to be some music that not a lot of people have heard in a long time.
Yes.
Well,
and all ages. I mean, I won't tell the women's ages, but several of my friends in St. Louis who are close to my age are coming over and just helping me out and helping the theater out. And one's in Madrid, Spain. She flies home Sunday, and she said, I promise I've stayed healthy. I've stayed away from people so I can be in good voice. And she lives in Chesterfield, so she's coming over. And Kathy Piercy has done lots and lots. Yeah, she's wonderful. So we have some great people. So it's not just locals, but we do have a few locals who I think one of them is a bus driver, and he has a beautiful voice. He came and auditioned, and I was like, why are you driving a bus? And he goes, money.
Well, and that's what I think is cool, because I was looking through it, and I mean, I love old country. I love the Charlie Brides of the world, you know, and Crystal Chandelier and all that. And then you got Ray Charles and Seven Spanish Angels and those wonderful ballads. But also, just like you said, to really hear the talent of the voices that are out there, because Marjorie has an excellent voice.
Oh, absolutely. And she grew up on country. I did not know. She, in one sense, is like me. People, even I went to grad school, people thought opera was my favorite form. And I do love the drama of opera. But I grew up, my formative years were in the South, so I grew up on country. And her daddy was the same. And we had a lot of similar experiences growing up. And yeah, she picked things that her daddy loves. And
that's what it's for.
I
though.
love that.
And that's why I think it's so important to do this, because it really, there's so many people, and I'm sure, Lee, of all the auditions you've been a part of and led and held, that you know that there's so many talented people around here that, you know, maybe just never had the opportunity to, you know, really chase the dream.
Absolutely. And every morning, even though sometimes I mildly complain about it, I go to the computer and I have 80 new emails that come through the contacts. But I've had several people who want to audition for Singing in the Rain, and I'm like blown away, who have done a lot of theater and just said, you know, but I got away from it, but I just love that show. And they wanted to know about the rehearsal schedule. And of course, Kevin's pretty rigorous. We are a lot more rigorous, actually, than some theater groups. They'll do 3 months and do 2 nights. I'm like, I'd be so tired of the show at that point.
Yeah.
We do 7 weeks for a musical, usually 5 for a play. That's enough, because we're there Monday through Friday.
Well, and two, it keeps the cast from getting burnt out, too, because it seems like their morale has to be as high as it can to go out and perform.
And their energy level.
Yeah.
I just think it's hard to sustain it. But, of course, that show, high demands on tap dancing and just energy and some tricks. So it'll be interesting. Those auditions are the 2nd and 3rd of March. So
Are they, what time?
10 on Saturday and 1 o'clock on Sunday. And that information is on the website.
Well, I think just getting back to Best of the Best really briefly before we go into 4-poster, too.
Yes. Because it's only a week later, as Kevin will tell you. She is making a lot of noise in the foyer on My Tech Sunday, which I did not know was Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you remember I suggested he might tape it. All the guys looked at me. I thought, okay, I've said the wrong thing. Clearly, I don't understand this tradition. I'm like, it's at 5:30, so you missed the first part of it. What's the big deal?
You know what's funny? I could give it to him less.
Well, I have fallen asleep. You know that story.
Yes.
The one time Kevin invited us over, so I get it. I fell asleep in front. I said, I love the commercials. Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, I want certain teams to win. I'm fine with that, but I just don't get that you have to be there and watch it live and have all the food.
Right.
Because I was going to do this very romantic dinner. And Carolyn, of course, who has the female lead in the 4 posters, she was like, oh my gosh, steak and lobster bisque. And I wanted it to be romantic. And the guys were like, we're not having Super Bowl food? And I was like, we're celebrating the play, which is about 35 years of marriage and how hard that can be.
Right.
To have that happen.
Well, and too, because when you said that, I'm like, I'm in. I'm in for Lee's cooking. And, you know, it's just, I was watching them rehearse 4-poster because they were seriously out in the foyer while we were doing things for Elephant's Graveyard last week, and they are good.
They are good. They're just 2 really nice people.
Yeah.
And excellent, but they had never met before.
It's so surprising because I thought the way that they portray it, I mean, you really would think that they've known each other for quite a long time.
I did worry the other night, Alex's fiance, who I adore, Mary, was there for the first time. And he said, could you go out in the foyer and hang out with Lee? And of course, I was having rehearsal. I was already set up for Alabama's story. So she stayed in the dressing room and did her schoolwork. She's getting her PhD in speech pathology. But I think he was just a little embarrassed.
Little damage control, you know?
That they're cavorting on this big 4-poster and doing all these things, even though they're in Victorian clothing much of the time. But I tried everything on that I bought and it fit. That was hard. You know, you just can't go into a store and say, hey, do you happen to have a Victorian wedding dress? You know?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, Country Meadows is loaning us this incredibly beautiful armoire, and they do have some authentic pieces from the 20s. But they're so fragile. You couldn't begin to do a costume change and put them on and off. So, but I loved, because I thought, I was right. We have one of those and one of those. And then she's even pregnant in one scene. So the dresses were very slim fitting and often then flared, but I needed, and Carolyn is very toned, very well built, tiny, but I thought I need something to show that baby bump. And she goes, I don't know, it's pretty tight. I said, it stretches, we'll see. And she, of course, has no children. She's like, really? Women have to do this? They have to stay like this? I said, oh, yeah, the last 2 months anyhow. Oh, yeah.
Another reason I wake up and thank God every day. But I just, watching them, I mean, this is going to be a great show. Now, there's only 2 people in this.
There is. It was really written for Jessica Tandy and Hugh Cronin, who you're probably too young to remember. They were the Broadway couple, and they stayed married in real life for 50 years. I mean,
unheard of.
They were just the royalty of Broadway from about 1930 on. I think they both died within 2 years of each other, about 10 years ago. But it was actually created for them. And then they took the idea and turned it into I Do, the musical. And then same time next year with Alan Alda and Ellen Burstyn.
Okay. Yeah.
But that took place, I mean, they you know, in a movie, you can show the transition of years. They have set designers and they have, you know, different things. This, we go over 35 years and 6 scenes, and Michael is working backstage, and Michelle and Corinne Jones are going to be the dressers. And he said yes before he knew how much furniture he had to move around, because things do change even then. I mean, people didn't spend a lot of money, but solid furniture. And of course, you know, Kevin built the 4-poster because they started at $6,000. We shopped and shopped and shopped, and you get a solid wood 4-poster. Yeah, none of this fiber board.
None of the cupboard stuff.
Yeah, none of the, So it's beautiful. And
wow. Well, and just that alone, I mean, I wouldn't even have thought of, but in the play, are you able to tell the 30 years by the way the bed looks? Is there ever any, you know, type of changes to that?
Oh, we change the bed every single scene. Now, sometimes it's underdressed, but yeah, that was my job, and I've accomplished it. And last night he said he'd kind of touch things. He goes, oh, that's gorgeous. Now, I was like, yay, he likes it. So the costumes and the set decor, those are things, and lights, those are the things I love. But these lights on and off, you're in the same bedroom.
Right.
Different seasons. It's not a complicated light show. The next 2 we do are very complicated.
That's what I was wondering, how you would do a Singing in the Rain with the work that has to go into that, because just Elephant's Graveyard, you really realize, because in wrestling, lighting's not really that important. You go out there, you can have a barn that has a candle in it, you can get the job done. In theater, it seems like that lighting, those cues are so important, and those sounders too, that's really what keeps the train going.
And the passage of time, and again, day and night, and whether the focus is on the circus people or the town people. Yeah.
And just like Singing in the Rain, it'll be like
But it's something that the audience actually shouldn't think about. If it's good, if I've done my job, then the audience doesn't really think about that. They just say, "Oh God, that was an interesting show. It moved. It was different." So
that makes sense. Now, how do you and Kevin differ in directing? Because just watching Kevin and how they were working for a poster, it's a little bit more, hands-on, and we're going from here to here in a lot of demonstrations. Do you do that as well?
Yes, I do that as well. Although clearly the last couple months that became a little different when I couldn't walk for a month. But I'm getting back
I'm so
up
glad
there.
you're really doing better.
So just not moving as fast. But I bet I could keep up with him now. Probably. But yeah, we're very similar in that. And he actually sits on the stage with him for the first 2-3 weeks, where I tend to be in the front row and do that. But yeah, we're very similar in that style.
Well, that's what I think.
I think I do a little more like, honey, would you mind? try this. I might sweeten it up a little bit more than
Here's what you're going to do.
Yeah. I think you've captured his true personality. Yeah.
Well, it's just...
But he gets it done. See, the finished product, he demands excellence and commitment. He doesn't goof around.
No.
And he puts in 3 times as many hours as any other director. He really does.
Well, on top of that, Lee, that's the big thing, because a lot of this could be so many, especially for kids out of high school that really are getting maybe for going into college locally and they want this. You're getting some good training too. I mean, you aren't just getting, all right, well, here's your lines and that's it. I mean, this is real hands-on. You're going to get better as a performer.
Absolutely. It's probably not fun for our spouses, because when we go to a show, we're always like, why did they use that light there? And we're always looking around and saying, why isn't she enunciating? Like we're very, once you become a director or even as an actor, it will change how you watch other shows.
Well, I can't watch wrestling anymore with anybody around me, because I always tell them what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
It's that same thing.
Exactly. There's always foreshadowing.
Well, why don't we do this? I got to take a break. We started late. Can you hang out for a little bit?
Sure.
It's 9:48. Let's take a quick pause on this first day of February. We'll come back. We'll talk more about Best of the Best Country Love. We'll talk for poster. We'll talk a little bit more about life. I don't know. We'll talk right after this in downtown Alton.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit falcommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Arms are mine.
Sorry about that. I love Otis Redding. You know, you just can't. Someone said that they didn't like Otis Redding. I swear, I was on a road trip to Tennessee and they go, James Brown. And I went, come on. I mean, James Brown's fine, but Otis Redding is a legend.
I can't get past his personality.
Yeah. Ever since that CNN interview, my generation kind of fell out of favor.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke's up there too, I think.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. And, as we're getting back talking to this, I just think you hit it right on the head with this performance. Because everyone, if you turn on an old country love song in a room full of people, let's say there's 10 in there, 9 people are going to start singing that song.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if they love it or don't, it still sits with them because a lot of those songs for a lot of people are memories.
Well, and we had one of the ladies, and I told her yes, because I wasn't sure. I was still kind of looking for a couple more guys. And she said, can I do a Randy Travis song? And I said, well, sure, I guess. And she did a beautiful job. And Brant talked me into buying a new mixer so he could, really get everything in the right key for everybody. And these days, you can find so much online. But I wanted something I stressed in their vocal range and something that really would show off their voice. Because, again, I don't vote. The audience votes after a lot of chocolate and champagne. I have no control over it.
Now, with these, are there some pretty powerful ballads, too? Because a lot of those country love songs are not easy to hit.
Yes, and I would say... Well, Lorian hasn't totally decided yet. He goes back and forth, although he does like old country. But, a couple of the women, they chose... tough songs.
Yeah.
Because I told them all my favorite people. I mean, I am a Garth Brooks addict.
Right.
And I even like Clint Black and, Keith Urban. Some of them were modern, or you might even say lightweights.
Yeah.
But they have a song or two that really, really impresses me. But I let all the performers choose. I did not. This wasn't like a show where I dictated what they had to sing. Now, when we do the Best of the Best Broadway next November, I personally am dictating the shows, not for a particular performer, but there are so many shows that because of space, money, capability, we can never do Phantom of the Opera. There are just some shows we cannot do, but the music is so beautiful, and our mission is to help local audiences be able to come locally and really see and hear good theater and good music. So I want kind of the theater things that I love. I'm kind of booking that in the next 2 years.
So I was over, and you'll love this. I was over, and I'll give him a plug at Cat Daddy's a couple weeks ago. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And someone that always, he and I always talk, he goes, man, I watch your show, but I really like Alton Little Theater. He goes, I've started going. He goes, I'm going to go see an Elephant's Graveyard. I think they're doing great stuff. And it's just to hear that feedback. And really from, and some folks have gone a couple of times, but there's been so many conversations of people saying, this is really cool that we have this here. Because, you don't... It's not like you're the luxury of the Fox where they don't pay for advertising. I hate to tell you people. They don't. What they say is, well, we'll give you tickets and you're just going to give us all your free advertisement and we'll run and we'll have a monopoly on the market. And that's what happens. The same thing with the Cardinals and the Blues. All of you guys that are smaller theaters have to literally do everything you can to get the name out there.
And the whole spectrum, because I had a board member say, well, I shouldn't really quote her, but she divides it at 50 because again she's 31 and she's like, well, people under 50 might do this, but people over 50, she doesn't get it. And I said, and I have to do it all, because our season ticket holders, 90% of them are over 50, because when your kids are raised, you think, oh, well, maybe now I have some time and I could invest in my community. And that's our bread and butter. But I also need the next generation, 2 generations coming up. So I have to do it all. So, we do, the online thing. And they're always doing TikTok videos backstage. I'm like, okay, go for it.
Right. Do what you can and just enjoy it. I was listening to something, and I think it was an old... It was Elvis's hairdresser, and he said that they were talking about how they were able to really make money. So because he had fun, he might have been drugged up half the time, but he had fun. We all had fun doing it, and we just kept moving, And that fun and that atmosphere can carry you for years.
And that adrenaline.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
It is an adrenaline.
you got to reach hard when it's your 6th or 7th show and keep it fresh and stay in the moment. And I have all the admiration when I think of people on Broadway who do 200, 300, 400 performances of the same show. And the producers will come in and go, oh, I got to replace that guy. It's really very difficult to keep it so energetic.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
I've never even thought about that.
Many times after 8 performances, people say, okay, I love the show, but I'll be glad it's over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just 8. You couldn't do this for a living.
Because I didn't even think about that, especially, too, you're on the chopping block constantly.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The stage manager, the director frequently pops in, and you're like, you changed a word.
Is it serious? Because I don't know too much about that when it gets to the big... I don't know how you all have the stability, because I'd be freaking out constantly going, oh my goodness, no, I didn't have the same inflection as yesterday.
And of course, Broadway took a huge hit with COVID like we all did. And so now the contracts, I told you, are like 18 to 20 pages long, fine print, and the size of the type and how the credits are done and how the acknowledgments are done and what you can do and what you cannot do.
Wow.
So it gets a little dicey sometimes.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, and especially we have 15, just getting back to getting tickets bought too.
Yes.
15 are left for Saturday.
Yes.
And
hopefully after your show, less.
I hope so. we had quite a substantial number of walk-ins during Elephant's Graveyard.
We did, but for me to have enough chocolate and enough booze, I really need to sell those tickets. So I know I don't want anyone to leave saying, gosh, I didn't get enough chocolate.
Well, that's what I'm going to need, because I'm going to get 2. I don't have a girlfriend or anything yet, so I'm just going to get 2 just in case.
You have a week and a day.
I do have a week and a day to find a day. I do want to go because I love the theater. Ever since being a part of it, it's literally 2 minutes from my house. It's a beautiful venue inside. The way you guys have really just kept it updated with that lighting system, that's just beautiful and out of this world. And now the foyer itself is a great spot to really just have that relaxing experience.
And that's what we want is everyone just to feel relaxed and not too crowded and really up front. I mean, you would know how close the performers will be to the crowd. And so I think that will be fun. And we do have a number of people who just say, I don't have a Valentine, but I just wanted to do something special. And that a lot of the senior women, they've lost their spouses and things. But so you don't have to come as a couple.
But just because I'm going to hold myself accountable to see if I actually do send it a, text out, and I'm always scared. It's like, am I going to be the next Facebooker where it's like, there's CJ's message saying, hey, and then all of it, you never know. You just never know. But I am going to go. And now we need 13 left.
That's true.
So now I need 13 of you calling 618-462-3205. I'm starting to really master this phone number.
You are.
And Michael or whoever will be waiting for
Brand.
you.
Brand's there until I get back,
Give Brand a call now, because you have literally 2 dozen or a dozen tickets left, and that's it, because Sunday's pretty much all but gone.
Yeah, we have 4. But Sunday afternoon, so many people don't feel comfortable driving, at dark. And I understand that, which is why I did it. I didn't know it was Super Bowl Sunday. I did not know. The game does not start until 5:30, though. So they'll be out of there by 4. Plenty of time. And their next meal, they can have a lot of protein at dinner after all the chocolate and things like that.
It's a 2-hour runtime?
More like 90 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I don't know. We're going to have everyone come in and have the chocolate and desserts, and then they can have more. But I think we've got 14 musical selections, some duets and some solos, but I haven't timed it Tuesday night, I could tell you that's our first full rehearsal with everybody because they're from all over the place.
Awesome. So there's a handful of tickets left for that, by the way. Thank goodness I'm not on the traditional radio anymore because I get yelled at. It's officially 10 o'clock in downtown Alton. Isn't that a weird FCC thing? The tickets are still there. They're limited, though, so call now and get the Saturday because you got 13 opportunities to grab those. And then on Sunday, you have 4 tickets left. But for any of you interested in maybe starting that journey and performing, or maybe you want to get back out there.
They'll get inspired and say, well, I could do that. And we are doing the best of Broadway, as I said, next November. That'll be the last of my best of the best. I've been playing, that out a little bit.
Best of the best techno is in 2026.
Okay.
No.
You can be in charge of that.
But there are auditions for Singing in the Rain coming up, too, that I wanted to make sure we touched on.
The 2nd and 3rd of March, yes.
2nd and 3rd of March. Who are you looking for specifically?
People who can tap dance. People who have lots of energy. People who are cute as a button and can move and dance and act. They have to be the triple threat. Those 3 leads have to be the triple threat. But then there's a huge ensemble, although, as Corinne pointed out, there's 2 group numbers where the whole cast dances. I said, I am well aware of that, and I have hired a top-notch choreographer to make sure that happens.
Really cool. You don't have a bad experience with a tap dancer, but that's a story for another time. Lee Cox, I do want to ask you about 4 Poster. What dates are these running? And it is on our website today.
Yes,
on the wallpaper.
It opens on the 16th, and again, we run for 8 performances, so through the 25th. So yes, just a week after Country Love, it will open up, and it is just charming. And if people think, well, 2 people, doesn't that get boring? No, it's a wonderful story, and anyone who has ever wondered, like, how do you stay married 35, 40, 50 years? It's not always smooth, but people who have that commitment, and it goes through their life having children, and of course things happen, and you almost wonder twice if they're going to break up. And again, people who saw Same Time Next Year, she's dressed like a hippie and he's conservative, and then and people get married all the time who have different political beliefs. We're finding that out this year again. But it's a wonderful story about how rich your life can be to find that partner who really, really knows you and loves you.
Well, and I think for married couples, it's going to be really cool, an opportunity for them to reflect in a vicarious way in a different relationship and see how it correlated to theirs. I mean, there's a lot of that.
And I love, it's not easy to do a show that starts in 1898 and goes to 1925.
That is a big time change.
That's very difficult, but Kevin's built this beautiful set. We've had some help from, as I said, the local antique shops. I looked everywhere for the 7-foot armoire. But
thank you, Country Metals.
Yeah, thank you, Country Metals. Gary and Pam, thank you so much. We're going to do a little work and return it in better shape than it was. And even I'm struggling right now. I have 2 stops after this because I'm doing Alabama Story, which is in 1959 and in the deep imagination of the South. We'll talk about that differently. But solid wood, there wasn't an IKEA. That's not where people shopped. And we have a lot of furniture, 4 buildings of rugs and paintings and furniture and things like that. But for this library, I need to go to Lewis and Clark and somehow get in their library and get it all out without them knowing. I don't think I could do that. But
you paid for a portion of it.
Yeah, but that's what it should look like, And if anyone's been there, that's so gorgeous. Beautiful. And the fixtures and the solid wood and even the echo, the high ceilings. And
have you been to Genealogy over here?
Yes.
Kind of that same.
Yes, Alton Theater. They produced our first book of the first 75 years. And I collect stuff and so they can put it in another book when I leave. Yeah.
I just love it. Lee Cox, every time I talk to you, just put a smile on my face. I am going to be at the 10th for the best of the best Country Love. Will I bring someone? Time will tell,
And again, I would love your dog. Other people might not, but you can bring anybody.
And for more ticket information, there's only a handful of opportunities left to get these tickets. You better call today because I'm telling you what, it's going to be one of those where they're going to, not have any room because they can't. You can't really open that up
in the
anymore.
foyer. No, we can't. We don't want people to feel crowded or scrunched
Not in
there.
that type of experience. So call now 618-462-3205, or why don't you do this?
Go online,
AltonLittleTheater.org, and then you can find that upcoming shows tab. You can get the buy ticket section on the best of the best, and while you're at it, get yourself some 4-poster tickets.
Yes.
And that way you can get it all done.
Yeah, Ashley and Mike just put a picture from the show that I had taken the other night when I was just goofing around, but it's really cute picture of Alex and Carolyn.
Oh, yeah, it was right here on the front page.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, and look, and there's Marjorie.
And there's
she was
Marjorie,
so good.
yes.
She's just so talented. Lee Cox, anything left for us to talk about today?
No, I'll be here at the end of the month, and we'll talk about Alabama
It's
story.
gonna feel weird not talking to you every week.
Well, you're going to come to the show.
That's
I'll
true.
see you.
Yeah. It kind of felt like a breakup just there.
We'll be friends. We'll stay friends.
10:07, AltonLittleTheater.org, AltonLittleTheater.org. Lee Cox. We'll talk again soon.
All right, bye-bye.
That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Look around your world, pretty baby. Is it everything you hoped it'd be? The wrong guy, the wrong situation, the right time to roll to me.
10:12, welcome back. Somewhat top of the hour news on this first day of February. Dan Brannon bringing us the latest out of Alton. The city of Alton did announce on Wednesday that it is planning improvements to Fosterburg Road from Cope Lane north to the south end of the center concrete median, 825 feet south of Illinois Route 255. This project will include widening and resurfacing to add a center two-way left turn lane and paved shoulders like the pavement south of Cope Lane. This project is being funded by a grant through the Federal Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Program, which targets projects that can be used to reduce congestion and improve air quality. The amount of the grant, $1.985 million. The main feature that qualified this project for the funding is the proposed left turn lanes at the intersection of Fosterburg Road with Harris Lane and Prince Road. A quote from Mayor Goins, "Our city road improvements aren't just about asphalt and concrete. These improvements are about building better connections regionally, enhancing safety, and fostering economic growth within the Alton community." The project is currently in the preliminary engineering phase to obtain environmental clearances. Due to the widening of the road, the project will require additional right-of-way. The project is tentatively scheduled to begin construction in the summer of 2025. In the meantime, the Alton Public Works Department is planning to do some maintenance resurfacing of pavement rough areas along this section of the road. We will keep you updated as more details do emerge. Out of Edwardsville, Dalton Brown reporting that 2 individuals, including one from Memphis, Tennessee, are facing separate drug possession charges in addition to another individual facing a DUI charge in Madison County, according to county court documents. Janae D. Cole, 36, of Memphis, Tennessee, was charged with possession of a controlled substance on December 1st in a case presented by the Collinsville Police Department. Court documents allege that Cole had in her possession an undisclosed amount of a substance containing cocaine. She faces a Class 4 felony and was released upon her signature of conditions. Ryan Grimaud, 30, of St. Anne, Missouri, was charged with aggravated driving while under the influence on December 17th, according to recently filed Madison County Court documents. He allegedly drove a vehicle on Sue Twain Drive in Warden with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or above, and the vehicle was reportedly not covered by any liability insurance policy. He was charged with a Class 4 felony and released upon his signature of conditions. Cody Vavoid, 28, of Pontoon Beach, was charged with unlawful possession of less than 5 grams of a substance containing methamphetamine on November 20th. He was charged with a Class 3 felony in a case presented by the Edwardsville Police Department and was released upon his signature of conditions, a pretrial release order. Please note, as always, that all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Dan Brannon reporting out of Alton that Alton Fire Department personnel responded quickly to a serious fire in a vacant home in the 1900th block of Central Avenue at 10:58 on Wednesday. Alton firefighters were able to, quote, get a great hit, end quote, on that fire, Alton Fire Chief Jesse Jamison said, and had the fire under control in a quick fashion. However, the house did suffer serious damage. Chief Jemison said the Illinois State Fire Marshal's office has been called in to investigate this blaze, and he said he could not yet release the cause of the fire. There were no occupants of the house from what the firefighters could determine Wednesday morning, Chief Jemison said. However, he did say that they would be conducting another search. Also, in the news, out of Grafton, a new proposed mountain bike trail at Pere Marquette State Park will become reality in the spring of 2024. Pere Marquette State Park Natural Resources Coordinator Lev Smolensky is an experienced mountain biker himself, and he said he knows there's sincere interest in the trail expansion at Pere Marquette. Here's his quote. "We're excited about it," he said. "We will bring more people to Pere Marquette State Park, and it'll be a wonderful shared space. The mountain trails will be about 3 to 3.5 miles long. One of the sections still has to be cut. We're in the essence of following the existing trail path, but cutting some additional space." He said in his time in the region, he has discovered a strong interest in mountain biking from many enthusiasts. Lev said the new planned trails are not open to mountain bikes at this time, but an opening date will soon be announced. He also said, as shown in this map on RiverBender.com and that's on social media, that the trail will be a mountain bike only trail. Szymanski said that these trails will be open to the public early to mid-spring, but they do not have an exact date just yet. Here's another quote. "We have opened up a previously existing section of trail that has been underused for several years, and the new trail will have two sides. The left or west side will remain for equine use, while the right or east side will be used for mountain bikes only. For now, during hunting season, the trail area will be closed, but it will be available through the spring and the summer months. For any questions, you can call 618-786-3323. That's 618-786-3323. Out of Alton, New Frontiers Home Furnishings and Company will celebrate, its 46th anniversary with a major sale starting on February the 1st today and running through the rest of the month. Located right down the road at 101 West 3rd Street in Alton, New Frontiers is a full-line furniture store that's had quite a history over the past 46 years. Owner Ed Benz said it feels good to celebrate this milestone, and he is proud of how the business has grown over the decades. Here's his statement. "A lot of customers can't believe that this is the same store, the same owners. It's pretty rewarding when you talk to people and they bought stuff years and years ago." He continues, "We've got a loyal customer base. The anniversary sale is just our way of thanking everybody in the community because we could not have done it without them." When New Frontier started in 1978, it was an unfinished wood furniture store. They eventually broadened offerings to... we're having a bunch of messages come in. They eventually broadened their offerings to finished pieces and soft goods like sofas. The store still specializes in solid wood goods and prioritizes the best quality items whenever they go to market in North Carolina once a year. It's also important to them that the store stays up to date on style. Benz and his staff choose only the best quality and most updated pieces to bring back to Alton. In addition to the store on West 3rd, New Frontiers also manufactures their outdoor furniture and greenhouses on Pearl Street in Alton. They make outdoor Western red cedar furniture with a focus on hobby greenhouses, which has grown in its popularity since the business began showcasing them at home and garden shows around the country. Today, manufacturing is almost half of the business at New Frontiers. A final quote from Benz. "When we moved downtown, we thought we'd never be able to fill up this building. It was so big, and now we're jam-packed. We opened the lower level, and it's jam-packed," Benz reflected with a final quote. "We have a small team, but it's a close team, and they're all great. I could not have done it without them. It's been a good ride." For more information, you can find it online at frontierfurnishing.com. That's frontierfurnishings.com. Or by stopping by their store at 101 West 3rd Street in Alton, right down next to the Riverbender building. Also in the news today, Sydney Sinks bringing us the latest out of Edwardsville. When Sherry Rosenberger was diagnosed with malt lymphoma right as the COVID-19 pandemic began, she vowed to make something good out of the bad, and a few years later, her 16-year-old daughter has decided to follow her mother's example. Sherry is in remission and has raised $50,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society since 2020. Her daughter Whitney hopes to do the same thing in just 7 short weeks through the LLS Student Visionaries of the Year program. I feel like I'm going to cry again. I've literally been crying every day because I'm just amazed at not only our community, but that Whitney actually came to me at the end of last fall saying she wanted to do this, Sherry said. It was very difficult for us to go through my cancer journey, especially during a pandemic, and at the end of my battle, the one thing I wanted to do was to turn the bad into good. To see my daughter turn it around herself too and be able to turn the bad into good has been the most amazing thing as a parent to witness. Along with her teammates on Edwardsville High School's varsity dance team, Whitney has started a letter writing campaign to help spread the word about her fundraiser. As a Metro East student participating in the Student Visionaries program, her goal is to raise $50,000 by March the 9th, and she is off to a strong start with countless individual donations and donations from businesses. Every 3 minutes, someone in the United States is diagnosed with blood cancer, and the LLS organization has helped advance 85% of blood cancer treatment operations since 2017. For more information on this fundraising campaign, you can visit the official hyperlinks that are on the RiverBender.com article. You can also check out the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society website at lls.org. That's lls.org for more information on this organization. Let's take a look at weather. It's 10:22 on this first day of February. It's 49 degrees. We are touching 50, but it's a winter 50. Today, warmer with increasing cloudiness. It's going to feel a little bit like spring today. Tonight, one note for you, and that's just cloudy. Temperatures will reach 65 degrees today. They'll drop down to 36 overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, a high of 53, a low of 34. On Saturday, a spitting image of Friday, a high of 53 again, and another low of 34. Then on Sunday, a high of 54, a low of 30. A 25% chance of rain on Sunday, but on Monday we have brightly sunny skies and a 53-degree high temperature and a 29-degree for the low as we head into Tuesday next week. But right now, as it sits, go outside, enjoy the day, and hopefully we'll get some sun. It's 10:23, 49 degrees. It feels like 54 for time and temperature throughout the day. You give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Tom Lane. He's your local State Farm agent. Before I do take a quick pause, you guys have to check out Hainer Library, HainerLibrary.org. They have so many resources, and you know, it's really amazing to me because I do listen a time or two to other stations and other things going on in St. Louis just to stay up to date and to hear that, you know, more and more people talking about their libraries. What's really cool for me is the fact that we have a library doing just as much, if not more, than the big city libraries, and we have that resource right here in town. Whether or not you want to use them for their programs, like the X's and So's, the books and the Taps and Tomes book club, there's so many long-running classes and programs in genealogy that are amazing. Or if you're a student out there, listen, I'm going to be honest with you because I know a lot of you do watch during class, and I got to tell you multiple times on here, please do class first and watch me second. You got to get that research paper done. Okay? I get it's coming. But you don't want to Google it. Just stop. Wikipedia is not your friend. What is your friend is your local resource center at the Hainer Library, where you'll be able to have those citation checking tools, all of that at your disposal, plus the best databases to really do your research. And you know what you're reading is true. I know. Crazy to think that's the case anymore, but it is. At Hainer Library, whether or not you need them just for your traditional library services or for the many benefits of your library card, HainerLibrary.org. That's HainerLibrary.org. And go to the How Do I section. Get a library card's the tab. You click on that, put your address in, and you can join me and being a Hainer Library card holder. HainerLibrary.org. That's HainerLibrary.org. Oh, HainerLibrary.org. 1028, welcome back. A little bit of meatloaf for you. How about that? Hey, are you looking for something fun to do this weekend? More and more of you are really getting on our community calendar and utilizing that service. You know, I'm proud of it. We work really hard on it. That's part of my job outside of the show here at Riverbender, is to make sure that we have a full community calendar for all of you. Really could have something for everybody, whether you're into music, crafting, or something different. We have that there on our community calendar, RiverBender.com/events. For the full event listings, because I'm only going to talk about a few here, you can go to that website right now and find them all. If you're feeling crafty, the Community Sewing Project is inviting teens to team up with X's and Sews for a heartwarming sewing project. Whether you're skilled with a needle or you just want to lend a helping hand, your efforts will provide comfort to those in need through handmade blankets, hats, gloves, and scarves through the Teen Advisory Council over there at Hainer Library. Well, it's time to get some toe-tapping music going, and the Harvest Drive will be providing it for you at Post 1308 tomorrow night. It's set to deliver an exhilarating performance of country blues and southern rock vibes. Grab your friends and head on over to Post 1308 for a night of live music and dancing on one of the biggest dance floors in the 618. Or what about this? You feeling lucky? Well, are you, punk? I stole that from Mike upstairs. Don't miss the Alton Area Mouse Races organized by the Optimist Club. This quirky, thrilling event promises an unforgettable evening. With complimentary beverages and the spirit of competition, you're in for a night of fun and laughter and the Nacellos. Join the community in supporting a good cause this Saturday night as well. We just talked about this with Deanna yesterday. This is the benefit for Mark Taylor. Mark's journey of recovery after a serious accident is inspiring, and this benefit, featuring live music by the Stubblefield Band and Outlaw Opry, is your chance to show solidarity and contribute to his recovery efforts. If coffee and networking are your ideal way to start the day, why don't you start off your Friday with it with the Little Black Book, Coffee and Connections at Luciana's Pastries in Alton. It's that place to be. Women in the workforce can enjoy open discussions on current topics and make new connections. You can celebrate a milestone at the Sunshine Boutique in Jerseyville. They're turning 1. Enjoy sales, a gift basket raffle, and more as the boutique marks its first year in business. Or if you're heading up to Belleville, stop by the RV and Camper Show right there at the Belclair Fairgrounds for the latest in recreational vehicles. Admission is just $5, plus there's discounts for veterans and active duty military. More details can be found over at the Belclair Fairgrounds website. Remember, you can always find more information about these and other events on the Riverbender website just by going to the full community calendar. And if you've got an event of your own, don't hesitate to sign in. You have the opportunity to sign into your free RiverBender.com account, free, F-R-E-E. Submit your event to our community calendar because we love to see what you're up to. If you want to make sure even more of the region is aware of what you got going on, send me an email. CJ at RiverBender.com, and explore our range of event promotion services, because we'll get hundreds of thousands of people and eyes on them and make sure that that event is the shaboozy it deserves to be. At 10:31, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more of our daily show on this first day of February with our friends at OSF Healthcare. Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Song is about you. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is
10:36 on this first day of Heart Awareness Month. Laurinda Harjai, brand new to OSF Healthcare, somewhat. In October, you joined the team over here.
That is correct.
And how has it been in the first couple of months?
It's been wonderful. Been very welcoming from the community standpoint, and we're getting really busy quickly over there.
That's what I've heard, and it seems like folks are happy to have you here.
Yes.
And that's a great thing. And I always value our time with OSF Healthcare and talking about very important things like Heart Awareness Month. And right off the bat, before we go into the deep dive of it, take me through your background in cardiology.
Yeah, so right from the beginning when I started my career in healthcare, I really always enjoyed working with cardiac patients, mostly at that time in the cardiac ICU. So a lot of patients who had recently had either open heart surgery or patients who recently had a heart attack or suffered from congestive heart failure. And that really just led my nursing career to want to just continue to work with heart patients. And then I went on to become a nurse practitioner and really just have stayed working with cardiology ever since.
Absolutely. And as we're talking about February, it's always, I think these months are important because it's always good to give you that mental check of, hey, maybe I should go and make sure everything's working okay or everything's sounding good. Is this an appropriate time to really look at those things that we have going on in terms of our hearts and making sure we're all moving okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good time to, like you said, bringing awareness. When is the last time I've seen my primary care doctor? What has my blood pressure been? What is my cholesterol? Do I have diabetes and not know it? So I think it's just really important to follow through.
Well, and when we talk about, preventing heart attacks and preventing these things, sometimes, it seems like, well, can I prevent these? Is the answer yes?
The answer is absolutely yes.
Awesome. And as we're talking about this, what are some of the risks of the heart disease and any type of heart event? As we're growing up with what we're eating, with what we're consuming, I'm sure that plays a huge factor in it.
It certainly does. So number one, it's very important that anyone who smokes, we always talk about it, and even when I'm coaching and talking to patients in the office, I know that's a big one for people to stop, but anything that we can do as providers to help with smoking cessation, but it is an increased risk factor for sure for cardiovascular disease. So if you smoke, you might want to think sooner rather than later to get those follow-ups.
Sorry, don't let me cut you off.
No, you're fine. In addition, again, knowing what your blood pressure is. So blood pressure is always termed the silent killer. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that they have high blood pressure. They think that maybe the fatigue they're experiencing, the headaches that they have, or maybe just slowing down and not being able to do what you normally had done in years previous or months previous. They chalk that up to maybe being a year older, but really coming in and knowing what your blood pressure is and managing it. And then along with that is simple blood tests to know, do you have diabetes or pre-diabetes, as well as what is your cholesterol levels? Because like you had mentioned earlier, the American diet, we all know fast food, it's great and convenient as far as convenience and maybe sometimes cheaper, but what is it doing to us, and just really knowing our numbers.
Absolutely. And one thing I wanted to point out is, a quote that was in some of that prep documents, and the best way to not have a heart or to survive a heart attack is not to have one.
Exactly.
And it seems like a lot of that has to do with our lifestyle choices. When you're talking with a patient or just meeting with them maybe for the first or second time, how important is it for you to get a gauge on what their lifestyle is like, outside of the patient encounter, but also their day-to-day life as well?
Right. So I ask them questions. One, it's always important to know what family history is. So do some of these patients already have a predisposition, maybe genetically, to early heart disease? But also, how sedentary are they? So are they on the couch a lot, or are they quite active, where I find people who are more active are more in tune to these subtle changes that may be happening day to day versus someone who's more sedentary. And we do often talk about sitting as the new smoking, right? So just having inactivity, American Heart Association, they want people to work out at least 30 minutes a day of brisk activity. And I encourage patients, hey, if you've had a sedentary lifestyle, we're not going to go couch to 5K overnight.
Good point. That's a good point. Realistic.
But if we can just, go to maybe it's 1,500, 2,000 steps a day and work our way up to what we'd like to see more like 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Take the stairs, park further away, those types of changes.
When it comes to a situation like that, because I'm sure that a lot of times you have somebody that might have a sedentary lifestyle but might also smoke on top of that or have some bad eating choices or eating habits. Is it, okay for that person that's going, man, I got a mountain to climb and I got to get all of this in order, to take baby steps and maybe tackle one thing at a time? Or do you recommend really going in and really getting this going right away as soon as we can?
When it comes to physical activity, I think it's the baby steps and working your way back up, because you don't want to have, muscle fatigue and really do too much day one. But the part that really is important is seeing your healthcare provider first.
Yeah.
So making sure that if you have high blood pressure, it's well managed. If you have diabetes, it's well managed. So partner with your healthcare provider. So let us work with you to get that managed, and then maybe finding a partner to work out with, or online groups. There's various ways now, I think, that people can work towards getting their physical activity increased.
I wanted to ask you about heart disease in young people, because that's something we're starting to see more and more of. And I don't know if it's the case, but it just seems a lot of the big news channels are really starting to have more of these segments on about, maybe a pre-workout causing some issues or some type of energy drink. Is that something you are experiencing over at OSF too?
Yes, absolutely. So that goes into, what we're seeing with dietary changes, the American diet, smoking, is that we're seeing heart disease in younger patients. So really, 20% of patients that have heart disease are young. I mean, we see it in 20. So we're treating patients in their 20s and throughout their 30s who have actually even had heart attacks. So I think it's just really important. You know, it sometimes is a disbelief to patients when they're that young that I didn't think I could have a heart attack in my 30s, when you absolutely can. But again, it's taking in all of those risk factors. So I think it's never too young to really just keep in touch with your primary care provider first off, and then putting all of those other risk factors and seeing a cardiologist when needed.
Well, and on top of that too, you know, as we're talking about, you know, younger people, I'm sure there's an anxiety when you have to have that conversation of you do have this type of issue going on. Is that something that because I'm sure they think, oh my goodness, my life's over. I'm going to be, you know, I hate to say it, but hurting or dying in 10 years because with my anxiety in my brain, the way it works, that's what it immediately thinks is, oh my goodness, this is it. How are you able to combat that with, here's how we manage this, here's how we get through it, we're here now, but we can still handle it. Is that somewhat difficult when it comes to a younger person?
I think it's difficult for them. I really focus on reinforcing and encouraging the younger population who have heart disease and heart issues, that there's wonderful medications, technology, and that we can make the heart strong again if it's weak. We can combat the things that are really attacking the heart, for lack of a better word, and help patients to really recover either their heart function or manage the disease process so that they can go on to be parents, grandparents, and live long, healthy lives. So that's what makes it exciting and rewarding for me.
I bet, because there is a tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There was a statistic on here that I found really fascinating. That's one person dies every 33 seconds from a heart-related disease, illness, heart attack, stroke. What my question is for you, does that account for any type of natural causes? Because I know sometimes if you see it, it died of natural causes, 9 times out of 10 it could be a heart attack. Is that taken into consideration?
Yeah, that's all encompassing for any cardiovascular. So heart, stroke, or what we call peripheral vascular, so arteries that may, clog or cause issues in the legs and the limbs. We've seen people with amputation, so that's peripheral vascular disease. So arteries that clog in hearts can also clog in arteries in other places of the body, including arteries leading to the brain and to the legs. So.
And another thing I've heard about too, and this sounds silly, I'm being serious though. I was watching Duck Dynasty 12 years ago. Okay, I know. I know. The uncle on there, the older uncle, says, well, I had 7 heart attacks and never knew about them. And I thought, okay, come on, this is fake. But it wasn't.
No, it's not fake.
Can you take me through these silent heart attacks and what to look for in those? Because, I know about TIAs. Are they the same thing?
Not necessarily. With silent heart attacks, what we're talking about is, so it's typically seen more in diabetics. It's more prone in diabetics, and then an older population, so greater than 75 years of age. But you can have a silent heart attack at any age. And a lot of it is, patients do have that heart attack. They don't even know they had it. They don't feel the symptoms. They don't feel that crushing chest pain, something like you might see on a movie or on TV. Yeah. Exactly. But heart damage will be done, and then it might be found later on where a patient may go to the doctors or the emergency room from an unrelated incident and see that their EKG has changed, and it is confirmed that maybe at some point in the past they have had what's called a silent heart attack. And
it just makes sense on why you should always go to that primary care provider and get that routine, checkup and that I always call it a maintenance report for me. Like I'm a car, a lot of city miles on me.
Exactly.
But it seems like that's really the best way to handle it. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Whenever we're talking about women and men, I'm sure lifestyle goes into a huge factor for the statistics too on, but I also saw women are more likely to die from a heart attack than men, actually 20% higher according to the notes. Is there a reason for that? Is that genetics, or does that have to do with more of a lifestyle choice too?
So a lot of it with women has to do with different symptoms of heart disease.
Okay.
So we always have to be careful when we're talking to women versus men in the office and screening for heart problems. So typically for men and heart symptoms, they'll get chest pain, maybe radiating to the arm, increased fatigue. But a lot of times for women, it may be presented as nausea, maybe back pain, shoulder pain, jaw pain. Wow. So men can have those as well, but for women, it may present much differently, so they're not realizing that nausea that they're having is really coming from the heart, and maybe they're passing it off as GI symptoms. Wow. So that being unrecognized and unnoticed, and then if they have a silent heart attack and then have congestive heart failure maybe because of that, that's how women really just aren't doing so well in the long term.
On following up on the heart attack and silent heart attack and just those episodes too, what is the average duration for a heart attack episode? I guess is the only thing I could think of to call it. Do they normally see shorter durations? Do you have an experience that lasts for like a stroke where you see those things happening, or is it pretty quick and instant?
So there's different types of heart attacks. So there is the emergent heart attack, where it's the patient's just having maybe that crushing chest pain, nausea, something's going on acutely, and an artery is occluded where it needs immediate attention. So that's when you're calling 911, you're having that chest pain, you're not going to let that go away, or the nausea or the back pain. And we need to make sure that that artery is intervened on right away. Mm-hmm. And then there's different types of heart attacks where it's not life, emergent, but it is causing some muscle damage, and we want to make sure that's treated in a timely manner. So those patients come into the hospital as well, but we get them on IV medicines, and we make sure that they get their heart catheterization, and if they need stents or surgery to support those patients as well.
Absolutely. You got a moment to stick around?
Absolutely.
I got to pay a quick bill. It's 10:50 on this first day of February. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back right after this with more conversation.
Welcome to
today. You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
A lot of fun, putting trouble on the run. Man, you find the old and young, twisting the night away. Yeah, twisting.
Oh, welcome back, 10:52. A little bit of change on this first day of February. We're almost out of winter. Only 3 more years. As we're getting back and talking, Laurinda, you've been here at OSF for a couple of months now.
Yes.
And at this point, how has that experience just been for you? Because you've had a pretty, extensive background and been able to do some remarkable work. Being at OSF, what's that feeling like for you?
It's been great. The community's been very welcoming to having me there. I'm 5 days a week in the clinic and in the hospital, so I think it's been great to have continued cardiology presence and to collaborate with other specialties and primary care to really help serve the population here. So it's been great.
And what are you noticing just with the patient experience too? Because I'm sure every hospital and every facility has a different set of measures and a different set of processes. But at OSF, do you think that they're really providing an opportunity for a streamlined and efficient process for folks?
Absolutely. I really feel like the vision that they have for specifically cardiology is really just to be able to provide top care to patients and really work with the goals of getting back to preventing heart attacks, preventative medicine, being seen, access to care. So you don't have to drive so far to maybe see a specialist or subspecialist. So I collaborate with other cardiologists locally to help also provide more extensive care for that population that may need certain specific cardiology care.
Another thing I didn't even think about was there's always that moment, I'm sure, that especially when someone first has their heart episode, especially, man or woman, as they're getting older, that kind of thought process finally hits you of, I'm not as young as I used to be.
Right.
Do you have quite a few of those conversations with, you might not be as young as you used to be, but you still got a life to live?
Absolutely.
Do you? That's what I was wondering.
So I really think it's just important to support patients through, the whole the pathway through the realization. We don't want to think about it ourselves, right? You start questioning like, oh, that's right, my own mortality. But really just supporting like what we can do to serve the patients at any part through their healthcare process.
And, I haven't asked you that. I asked you on the during a break, but not during the live show. What's your day-to-day breakdown look like? Because I know that you got a lot of irons in the fire, just like the team over there at OSF. But what does that breakdown look like for you and your processes?
Yeah, so they're keeping me really busy. I think it took off much quicker than we even anticipated, but all for the good. I call it a good busy.
Yeah.
And so I come in, quite early in the morning, try to get there by 7:30 in the morning. I see what's going on in the hospital, what has come in overnight. Are there new patients or patients that have come back that need to be seen by cardiology right away? So I do the rounding, talk with the hospitalists, chat with the office to see what's going on. Do we need to squeeze anybody in for appointments that day? And then we have a pretty full clinic. And then I go back and check back with the hospital before I leave. And so it's great, but I continually closing the loop on this patient care. So.
What I think is unique, too, is every care provider I've talked to from OSF talks about the relationship that they end up developing with their patients because of the way OSF does provide care. Is that something you've noticed too, that you're able to have a little bit more of those one-on-ones and those just really, not personal, but in a way personal interactions that make that care feel more, more prioritized?
Yes, I think that's what you get from this type of community setting. You really feel like an extended family member. And I even make jokes with many of the patients about, I'm going to be the younger nagging daughter or whatever, but it's because we care, and I like patient visits. I like to give all the patients the opportunity to have their questions answered, their concerns addressed. It's just been really great. This is the type of setting that I've enjoyed most throughout my career of being in.
Absolutely. Well, Laurinda, I really appreciate your time today, and I know you're busy. And what's your final thought just to folks? If you had one note to really help somebody maybe help themselves today, what would that tip be?
Yeah, if you are having any symptoms, any risk factors, or any concerns, I think I'd talk peace of mind always in the clinic. And just kind of one little last note is patients will come in and say, well, what if it's just indigestion? And I always say, but what if it's not? And I'd rather let's do the workup, let's do the tests, and give you peace of mind and get the right answers. So don't hesitate, don't push it to the back burner. If you have a concern, it's likely legitimate, and come see, either reach out to your primary care provider and they'll work with us if you need to be seen by a cardiologist.
Absolutely. Laurinda, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here at OSF Healthcare, and we're looking forward to having you here for quite a bit.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. 10:57, we'll take a quick pause and wrap up the first day of February right after this.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, It took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit falcommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home.
Bringing it on home at 10:59. Y'all have a great day. We had a good week. We really did. Coming up tomorrow, we have a really fun show for all of you featuring the National Bobblehead Museum, and this is a really cool thing they're doing, and I can't share with you yet because they asked me to wait until Friday, so all I can say is hang out with me then. I'm out of time. I'll see you live at 9 for more of Our Daily Show. So on that note, all of you enjoy this first day of February or mini spring, and I'll see you tomorrow right back here on RiverBender.com. Have a great day. Try your best to stay out of jail.